Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's informational session. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Elise Eckenrode, and I'm the Senior Director of Professional Development here at NACU. I'm excited to guide you through our newest micro-credential offering in regulatory and accreditation. And I'm joined today by an amazing group of colleagues and subject matter experts who helped shape this program, develop this program, and bring the regulatory and accreditation domain to life. With me, I have Patty Resnick, NACU's immediate past president of the NACU Board of Directors. I have Stephen Misenko, Director, CMS Liaison and Compliance at the Joint Commission, and Lauren Lentine, Director of Regulatory and Standards Database Management at the Joint Commission. You'll be hearing from them throughout our time together. Their real-world experience adds insight and depth to everything we'll cover today. Let's take a look at what's ahead. Here's our roadmap for this session. We'll start with a brief introduction to NACU's micro-credentials, then look at the regulatory and accreditation domain, what the work entails, why it matters, and how the competency areas are defined. After that, we'll explore the design of the program itself, including the methodology, the learning objectives, and the content outline. We'll move into some tips for success and then wrap with the logistical details on enrollment, access, and claiming your badge and certificate. You'll also hear reflections from our subject matter experts along the way. Let's begin with an introduction to micro-credentials. Before we go deeper into the regulatory and accreditation program, I want to briefly introduce NACU's micro-credential programs. These programs are part of our commitment to offering focused, domain-specific learning aligned with the healthcare quality competency framework. They're built to help professionals develop the skills that matter most for quality work today. With that foundation in place, let's take a closer look at what micro-credentials are and how they're structured. This is NACU's formal definition of micro-credentials. They are flexible, on-demand programs that build targeted skills within a single domain of the healthcare quality competency framework. They're designed to give professionals focused, practical training and a digital badge upon completion. So now that we've defined what they are, let's take a look at how they connect back to the framework itself. Each micro-credential is built directly from the healthcare quality competency framework. The framework is the industry standard for the knowledge and skills required for excellence and quality, and everything in NACU's educational programs is mapped to it. This alignment is what makes micro-credentials so powerful. Learners aren't just gaining general knowledge, they're building exact competencies the profession has identified as essential. Let me walk you through what this learning experience feels like from the learner's point of view. And because I know there's a lot on this slide, I want to highlight just the essentials. So these programs are built directly from the framework. The content aligns with the competencies professionals need within that domain. They're also flexible and self-paced, designed in modular chunks to help learners move through the material without feeling overwhelmed. And the experience is scenario-based, grounded in real-world situations rather than abstract concepts. Learners have access to expert insight, practical tools, and support that can be used right away on the job. And importantly, they receive a digital badge and certificate that recognizes their accomplishment. If you can take one thing away, it's that micro-credentials are practical, flexible, and built for real-world application, both for individuals and for teams. This is one of the most asked questions I get typically about micro-credentials, so I wanted to provide this audience with as much guidance as possible. Since the slide also has a lot of information, let me take a moment to pull out some important points for you. First and foremost, NACU micro-credentials are designed for a wide range of professionals, but there are three groups that do tend to benefit the most. Number one, first and foremost, healthcare quality professionals and healthcare professionals who do quality work at any level, especially those who want targeted domain-specific upskilling. That includes CPHQs who want to go deeper into a specific area, though CPHQ is not required to participate, but it's also for anyone who's looking to advance their career in quality. Second, professionals whose responsibilities are changing, such as stepping into new projects, new regulatory expectations, new initiatives after audit findings or organizational changes. These individuals often need focused, rapid skill development, and these programs are for you. And third, healthcare organizations and leaders who need scalable, standardized training for their whole team. These programs help reduce variability across sites and build consistent capability aligned to the framework. If you see yourself in any of these descriptions, someone building expertise, navigating new expectations, supporting teams and systems, these micro-credentials can offer a structured and practical way to grow. All right, drum roll, please. Now we're going to shift our focus from the broader micro-credential portfolio and really zero in on the program we're here to highlight today, the brand new regulatory and accreditation micro-credential. Let's take a deeper look at the domain itself, because understanding the domain is critical to understanding why this micro-credential matters and who it's built for. The regulatory and accreditation domain is one of the 8 domains of the Healthcare Quality Competency Framework, and for many organizations, it's one of the highest stakes areas of quality work. It is the backbone of how we ensure safe and reliable care. To ground ourselves, let's explore how NACU defines this domain and the essential competencies within it. When we talk about regulatory and accreditation work, we're talking about a function that carries enormous visibility and risk across an organization. These activities influence patient safety, organizational reputation, and operational performance. And as I have learned from the subject matter experts you see here, the expectations continue to evolve year after year. This work is also uniquely cross-functional. It requires collaboration between all the different functions within a healthcare organization. That blend of technical understanding and influence in your organization is exactly why NACU created this program. This program provides an accessible, structured way for professionals to build confidence in navigating standards, supporting their whole team, and sustaining a readiness mindset, not just during survey time, but in everyday practice. So now that we've established why this domain is so critical, let's take a closer look at how we formally define the work and the different competencies within it. This domain is grounded in a very practical charge to direct the organization-wide processes that ensure compliance with regulatory requirements. This is where the day-to-day mechanics of the work come in. Healthcare quality professionals lead the activities that prepare their teams for surveys. They support them during on-site events and help the organization follow up afterwards. They guide stakeholders in understanding expectations, interpreting standards, and maintaining continuous readiness. And it's important to emphasize this work isn't just about gearing up for a single point in time event. Continuous readiness is essential because patient safety and compliance must be sustained every day, not just during audits, not just during surveys. This definition provides a strong foundation for understanding the competencies that follow and the real skills that support compliance readiness and proactive leadership. There are 3 competency statements within the regulatory and accreditation domain. Let me walk you through them. Number 1, operationalize processes to support compliance. This first area ensures professionals understand what regulations require, where to find them, and how to put them into action across their organization. It includes skills such as explaining the intent of regulations, identifying sources of the standards, and recommending strategies to achieve compliance. The second statement is around facilitating continuous survey readiness. The second area focuses on making survey readiness a continuous practice. Professionals engage stakeholders, conduct mock surveys and audits, consolidate findings, and develop action plans to ensure readiness is sustained year-round. And our third competency statement is leading the organization through survey processes and corrective actions. This final area covers leadership through the entire survey cycle, which includes preparing stakeholders, managing logistics, communicating findings, and developing corrective action plans. It's all about guiding the organization before, during, and after surveys to ensure long-term compliance and improvement. This work is critical because regulations and accreditation standards are the guardrails that protect patients and ensure high-quality care. They set expectations that healthcare organizations must meet every day. Professionals working in this area must navigate complex, ever-changing requirements across different care settings, accrediting bodies, and jurisdictions. Their expertise directly influences patient safety, organizational performance, and regulatory compliance. And continuous readiness is non-negotiable. It ensures organizations are always functioning at their best, not just preparing for a survey. And it builds cross-functional leadership skills that touch almost all the different healthcare functions. And this is when I want to bring our experts back to the table to discuss the importance of regulatory and accreditation in healthcare. So I want to start very simply and first with Patty. Can you tell us why continuous readiness is critical for patient safety?
Thanks, Elise. And I'll start with, some of the comments that you have made. It is about being ready all the time. So continuous readiness really ensures that quality and patient safety standards are embedded into everyday practice. And by embedding those standards into everyday practice, well, that ensures that you also need to make sure that your staff is receiving ongoing training to those standards, education, that you're supporting their achievement and maintaining professional competency in providing safe and high quality care for all patients.
Sure. And what do you think is the biggest challenge about accreditation readiness?
Well, I think that one of the challenges with accreditation readiness is really helping everyone in the organization. And everyone in the organization has a role in quality and patient safety. So, helping everyone understand the importance of how their individual role contributes to accreditation readiness and success. And then, secondly, helping everyone to understand that accreditation readiness cannot be rushed. This is a thoughtful, deliberate, and strategic commitment that really takes time and resources to fully engage in that mindset and commitment that the organization will prepare and be ready every single day for any kind of accreditation.
Sure. And this is where I want to invite our Joint Commission staff, Steve and Lauren, to the table to give us a perspective from the other side of the house. So if you're a surveyor, if you're someone who knows, is setting the standard, what are some critical skills and behaviors that you're looking for healthcare quality professionals to have?
Thanks, Elise. So, building off of what Patty just shared in terms of the preparation, one of the things we wanted to focus on in this course was to move away from preparing for a test, preparing for an exam. Continuous readiness is just as the name suggests, that it's an ongoing process. And think about anything in life when you are prepared for a particular situation. That preparation is going to build confidence, and your confidence in your preparation helps to set your team at ease. Making sure that everyone's aware of what their responsibilities are, so that any time an external entity walks through your doors looking to evaluate your ability to provide safe quality care, you'll be ready. Your team will be ready. Everyone understands what's involved in the process, how to navigate that process during the course of a particular visit. And when we work with our surveyors who are out conducting surveys on a regular basis, so they're encountering organizations routinely, they're going through that process routinely. You, as the healthcare professional, may not have a visit routinely, and it's probably a good thing. Everybody looks forward to not have too many visits to go through. But sometimes the surveyors will encounter individuals who are nervous. Someone coming into your organization and looking to see how you're performing can be anxiety inducing. So the surveyors work very hard to identify those situations where people need to be put at ease so that they can focus and think clearly, be able to communicate clearly, be able to demonstrate to the survey team what it is that their organization has in place or how they can demonstrate compliance. What are the things that they're successful at? And so putting those people at ease helps to ensure a smooth and meaningful experience during the course of a survey.
Sure. Preparation shows, right, Lauren?
Yes, and Steve did mention communication already. I think that's really a paramount skill for healthcare quality professionals to have. Want to be able to clearly communicate to the surveyor, also to your organization about what is occurring during the survey, and make sure that you're communicating to all the stakeholders involved in a clear and professional way what is occurring. And then the other skill I would add is organization. There's a lot going on, not just during survey, but within an organization. And quality professionals really need to stay organized so that they can, be on top of everything and ensure what needs to be done, which goes back to the confidence Steve was talking about, is actually happening. And so this all kind of works together to make not only the organization, but the healthcare quality professional prepared really on a continuous basis for any sort of event.
Yeah, a lot of skills that play both soft and technical, which I think makes this such a challenging but interesting domain area to tackle. Thank you
Absolutely.
all for your thoughts. Um, now that we've gone through and really dug into the regulatory and accreditation domain area and walked through the key competency areas that define this work, I want to shift our focus a little bit to something just as important, and that's how this micro-credential actually teaches these skills. Understanding the domain gives us the what, so what professionals need to know and be able to do. But the real power of the program comes from how we help learners build that capability, the instructional methodology, the design principles, and the structure of the content itself. So this next section will take us kind of behind the scenes of the program development. We'll start by looking at the learning philosophy and instructional approach that underpin the micro-credential, why it's built the way it is, and how that design supports true behavioral change, not just knowledge transfer. Then we'll walk through the specifics, the learning objectives, the content outline, and the sequence of modules that take learners from foundational understanding to real world application. So as we move into this next part, I want you to think about how the competencies we just discussed show up in your own day-to-day work and how a structured scenario-based program like this one can support skill growth that sticks. So this is my area of instructional design. And I want to take a closer look and expose a little bit of the instructional strategy behind this micro-credential program, because it really is designed to help you do this work with greater confidence. The program features a set of core components that make the learning flexible, engaging, and practical. The modules use a responsive design so you can learn anywhere. Immersive storytelling and a recurring cast of characters make the scenarios feel real. Expert videos and panels bring lived experience directly into the program, and a collection of downloadable tools and resources you could use right away are a huge part of this program. Most importantly, there are built-in opportunities to practice, not just passively read or observe. But what makes this methodology so effective is the why behind it, the design principles that drive the real results. The program is built to support behavioral change, not just awareness. So our goal is for you to walk away ready to do something new or something differently in your daily work. We lead with emotional engagement because learning tends to stick when it connects to something that matters to you. We anchor everything in realistic scenarios, as realistic as we can make them, because when learning looks like your daily work, you can use it immediately. We build around the belief that doing beats knowing, so giving you a chance to actively apply new tools and techniques. We give you direct access to expert practitioners. The ones you see below are key. So insight comes from people who have literally lived through regulatory and accreditation challenges. And finally, we emphasize practice and feedback because mastery really only develops when you can try things, refine them, and try again. To use the language of quality professionals, this is PDCA. You got to use it, you got to refine it, and you got to try it again and again. These principles are the reason this learning approach works. They move the experience beyond just information sharing into something that genuinely strengthens confidence and competence. All of these intentional choices in storytelling, expert insight, realistic scenarios, and practice are aimed at helping you build very specific capabilities. So by the end of this program, you will know how to interpret regulatory and accreditation requirements. We will guide your organization through every stage of the survey lifecycle, from readiness to on-site activities to corrective action and ongoing monitoring. And ultimately, you'll gain the skills needed to analyze findings and implement meaningful corrective actions that strengthen continuous readiness. This program is structured around 5 modules that will take you through the full life cycle of regulatory and accreditation work. We begin by establishing the foundational landscape, how accreditation works, who the regulatory bodies are, and what continuous readiness really means. From there, we move into planning and preparation, where we explore readiness assessments and tools for identifying the right accreditation pathways for your organization. Next, we focus on managing the on-site survey experience, including logistics, conflict resolution, and building resilience, skills that matter enormously during your survey. In Module 4, you'll dive into how to respond after a survey, so debriefing, building corrective action plans, and maintaining that readiness. And finally, there's a mastery lab that ties it all together through hands-on practice scenarios and a guided process for building a continuous readiness resource finder that you can use long after the program ends. And I want to talk about that a little bit more. One of the most valuable elements of this program is the continuous readiness binder, in my opinion. Throughout the Micro-Credential, you're going to receive tools, templates, and resources designed to support real-world regulatory and accreditation work. Instead of these materials living in separate places, we guide participants in building a centralized binder, either physical or digital, that becomes your go-to resource for maintaining continuous readiness. This binder isn't just a random collection of documents, it's a structured system for you that you build yourself. It's meant to help you sustain daily compliance at work, prepare for surveys, and respond effectively when issues arise. In the Mastery Lab, you'll go even deeper, applying scenarios and building out the binder into a personalized readiness playbook that you can use for years to come. Another aspect of the program is the assessment. So the assessment is meant to reinforce your learning rather than feel like a hurdle. The questions come directly from the program content and are designed to help you understand where you're strong and where you may want to go back and revisit some of the materials. It's considered open book, meaning you can have the program open on a second screen while you take it. You can also take it as many times as needed during your access window. You'll receive a detailed score report, which makes it easy to identify your areas of mastery and where to focus next. I want you to think of the assessment as another learning tool, a way to deepen your understanding and build confidence before you go and claim your badge and certificate. So that's a program in a nutshell. And this is when I get to ask my experts to come back and talk to us a little bit about some of the real world challenges they wanted to address when they were designing this program. All right, so Patty, are you going to start off with this one?
Sure, happy to start out here. And really, going to add to Steve really touched on this in his previous comments. The real world challenge, part of that is moving that focus from preparing for the test or rushing to achieve an accreditation to being continuously ready no matter who may show up at the front door and when. So it really helps to prepare for any unexpected, unannounced visit, and also helps to raise the comfort level of not only survey preparation, but if something doesn't go as planned during that survey, you become more comfortable at constructively handling those situations. And one last thing I'll mention is also taking the time to celebrate success. Surveys can be long, they can be hard. Make sure that you're supporting your teams and celebrating the successful moments in that survey.
Sure. So I have an interesting question. And I think this could go either way. So can one of you share a time when readiness planning prevented a major compliance issue, or maybe it's the opposite, vice versa, when poor planning might have led to a bad outcome?
I'll offer some first comments there, Elise. And really, I'm going to frame my response around the critical importance of doing a detailed and thorough gap analysis to avoid this situation. And by critical, I mean be hard on yourself. Really sit down, get all of the appropriate individuals across the organization at the table, look at the standards, determine whether or not you're meeting that standard at all. So maybe you're not meeting it at all, partially meeting or fully meeting. And when you're saying you're fully meeting, make sure you have the evidence. Make sure that when you're doing mock surveys that you use that gap analysis to really hone in on, did our strategies that we have executed actually get executed, and are they working? So the gap analysis is really important to avoid any major compliance issues or to mitigate the chance of that happening.
Sure, sure. Can we talk a little bit about how the program reflects what actually happens in accreditation surveys? And I will tell you, I think this was a bit of a challenge because not everyone is alike, right, Steve?
You may be in different phases of your journey in your role. Your organization may be at any given point in the process, whether you're preparing for the first time or you've just recently been through a survey and you're reacting to the results or outcome from that survey. Everyone is going to have their own individual experience when it comes to this program based on where they're at in their journey. And so one of the things that we tried to focus on when we built this program was to make sure that we were taking all of those perspectives into account. And it, again, pointing back to what Patty has mentioned, what I've brought up as well is that it's a cyclical process. It's a continuous journey. The requirements may update, whether you're talking about state requirements, federal requirements, accreditation organization requirements can update. And so being aware of when those changes occur, knowing or understanding the why behind the requirements, being able to communicate effectively with your team members, all of those elements or aspects are part of this process, part of this course that we're trying to convey, that at any point in the process, drawing upon that knowledge and your skill set to help guide your team, help guide your organization, to be able to continuously demonstrate compliance with requirements, so that if you do experience a visit from the state or from a federal agency or from an accrediting organization, they're often unannounced. And so you need to be prepared to handle those experiences when they arise, just like you prepare for emergency situations. There's a reason why we prepare for things. It's so that when those moments arrive, we know what to do. We know who's responsible for what and how to accomplish our collective goal, which is to ensure safe, quality care for patients.
Yeah, that's that's such a great analogy and a great example because you just don't know when something will happen. And the best way is to be prepared for everything, for every scenario. Lauren, anything you want to add?
Just regarding the question about does the program reflect what happens on accreditation surveys? I do think that every survey is going to be unique to the organization and their situation and services offered, as well as which surveyors and what organization is doing the survey. So it's a very unique experience. However, we've tried to take our collective knowledge from all the subject matter experts and pull out likely scenarios into the modules. So hopefully they will feel real world and meaningful to the learners as they go through the course.
Agree. And I know you all worked on some different modules within the program and some of you all of them. But is there a module that is your favorite that you think will have the biggest impact?
I honestly think it'll depend on the learner and where they are in not only their own professional journey, but also where the organization is at during their survey experience. And I think there's great information to be gleaned, no matter how much experience that you have going into this. There's really great information in every module. Um, it'll really depend on the learner.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think they're all very good. But every survey is different and everyone might be in a different place.
Mhm.
So this program is built to really address wherever you're at. Thank you all. Before we wrap up some of these program details, and even for some of those out there who are already enrolled in this program, I wanted to provide a few tips to help you get the absolute most out of your investment. So first, I want you to think about this program as a chance to both refresh what you already know and deepen your understanding in areas that might be newer to you. Everything is designed to help you strengthen, skills you already are using and build confidence in the ones you want to grow. Second, give yourself permission to go at your own pace. This isn't a program you need to power through all at once. I think sometimes when people hear these are 8 to 10 hour programs, they're like, whoa, that's a lot. I'm very busy. I know you're busy. The platform that we've used lets you move in and out of the topics very easily. You can always go back and revisit, pause, reflect, come back when you're ready. As you move through the modules, I would just say try to set a little bit of focused time aside each day or week for yourself. Even like 20 or 30 minutes can make the learning feel more manageable and more meaningful to you. And don't stress about the knowledge checks or the assessment. They're really there to reinforce your learning, not to trip you up. Use them as guideposts to help you see what's sticking and what you might want to revisit. We've really tried to design a program that is flexible. It's meant to meet you where you are, so take your time, explore the content in a way that works best for you, and allow the learning to build very naturally. Building on what we talked about, I also want to share a few tips for really immersing yourself in this program as a lifelong learner. First and foremost, I always recommend that we apply what we learn right away. If you know the 70-20-10 model, 70% of what you're learning, you're doing. So as you move through the modules, try the tools, use the templates, use the techniques in your day-to-day work. We know that most learning does happen through this active application of it. So the sooner you begin using the concepts, the more they'll stick for you long term. As you go, take lots of notes and reflect on how the concepts show up in your day-to-day work. As we talked about, we cannot design a program that's going to be super duper specific to your specific circumstances. So there is some work you'll need to do to match up what you're actually doing and how you can marry them up to the best practices presented. So think about the moments you've applied some of these concepts already, or where you could try a new approach to get to a different outcome. The modules are designed to make those connections easy and intuitive. And if you're taking notes, you can add them to your continuous readiness binder so you can reference them later. You'll also see a lot of tools and techniques throughout the program that you can start using right away with your colleagues. So I recommend trying a tabletop exercise, share a job aid, or talk through a scenario with your team. See how they would handle it. The more you bring content into real life conversations, the more value you're going to get out of it. This is another great place to bring in our experts. You'll hear a lot of rich insight from our subject matter experts within the actual program itself. And these conversations are packed with real world stories and practical tips. I always think of those moments as bonus content, the things you only get when you learn directly from people who've lived it. So I'd love to hear from them about their experience developing this program, maybe what they enjoy most about it, what they hope participants will get from it, or anything they want us to take away. So I'll go one by one. Do you all have something you want to share or reflection you'd like to share about this program? Patty?
I can start. So first of all, I want to say congratulations. If you have made the commitment for yourself to complete the regulatory and accreditation micro-credential, you've taken a great step in your preparation for continuous readiness. I encourage you to download the materials, create your binder, share that with your colleagues, and join the conversation. Help your organization commit to that mindset of continuous readiness. And good luck on your journey.
Thanks, Patty. Steve?
Elise, I want to say thank you. All of you have an important role within your respective organizations and in helping to ensure safe quality care for all. So first and foremost, thank you for everything that you do in your roles. And I hope that you can see your work where, regardless of where you are in your particular career journey, you can see your work in this course. There are things that are familiar. There may be things that you're not familiar with. That's okay. Learning is an ongoing process. And so your commitment to ensuring that you're doing everything to the best of your ability to assist your organization, to assist your colleagues in being able to meet the needs of your patients, understand the why behind the requirements, how to engage people in the process and bring them along that journey of continuous readiness so that everyone feels as prepared as possible, regardless of the day or time, not only for your patients, but to demonstrate the work that your organization does on a daily basis. So thank you and good luck in your journey.
Thanks, Steve. Lauren, anything to add?
We'll just echo what Patty and Steve said, wholeheartedly agree with them. Really would highlight what you were just speaking about, Elise, of applying what you're learning during the course that will really make the course much more meaningful. And encourage, breaking it into sections. So you do have that time to apply what you're learning. And really, thank you and good luck.
Thanks. Couldn't have done it without these wonderful experts. I'm so glad that they were able to participate and bring their knowledge to our learners through this program. So now that we've walked through what the regulatory and accreditation micro-credential is, the domain, the competencies, the design of the program, and how the learning experience works, I'm going to shift us into some practical things. The next section is all about access, how to enroll, what to expect, logistically, how long you have to complete the program, how to claim your badge and certificate once you're done. Whether you're here because you're ready to start the program yourself or you're considering recommending it to your team, these details will help you understand exactly what the process looks like from start to finish. So enrolling in the program is actually really simple. You'll find tons of information and a link to purchase on our website. And once you're logged in, you'll be able to access the course materials immediately upon purchase through your NACU account. Pricing for this program is $359 for NACU members and $529 for non-members. I'm going to take a pause here to say, if you're not a member yet, what are you doing? This is a great time to consider joining NACU. Membership gives you access to a community of quality leaders, discounts on professional development like this, and ongoing support for the work you do every day. I've spent my entire career working at associations, and I'll tell you, this group is one of the best I've ever worked with. So smart, so supportive, and now is such an exciting time to be a part of the community. So I am telling you, you want to join us. We're doing very exciting things. Once you enroll in this program, you will have 6 months of access and you'll be able to move through the content at your own pace, like I explained. The program is fully self-directed, so you can dip in and out of modules whenever your schedule allows. And when you finish the learning modules and you pass that short assessment, remember you can take it as many times as you need within your access period. After that, you'll complete a short evaluation and then you're ready to claim your digital badge, certificate, and continuing education credits. Once you've completed and passed that assessment, like I said, you're going to receive a digital badge and certificate is issued through Credly. This is the same trusted platform NACU uses for the CPHQ credential and other micro-credential programs. And by the way, the image you see right here on the slide is the actual badge you'll earn. It's always fun to show this because it makes the accomplishment feel real and tangible. And this is exactly what will appear in your Credly profile, and it's exactly what you'll be able to share across your professional networks. The badge links directly to your personal Credly page, so you can showcase it on LinkedIn, your email signature, or anywhere you like to highlight your achievements. Anyone who clicks on it can actually go see the skills and competencies and continuing education that you just completed through the program and that I've explained in this presentation. You'll also have access to a printable certificate, which you could save, share, or display. And of course, you'll earn 8 continuing nursing education credits and 8 CPHQ CE credits, making this really ideal for people that are trying to maintain a certification. When you complete the micro-credential, you're not only walking away with new skills and confidence, you're walking away with a visible, credible symbol of your accomplishment that travels with you wherever your career takes you. And I can't wait to see how many of these start popping up on LinkedIn in the next couple weeks and months. So if you're thinking about whether this micro-credential is a good fit, ask yourself, do I need more clarity and confidence in regulatory accreditation work? Do I support continuous readiness or play a role in guiding survey activities? Then this program is for you. Do surveys feel overwhelming? This program walks you through what to expect at every stage so you'll feel more prepared and less reactive. Do I want a continuous readiness binder filled with practical tools and resources and a regulatory playbook? You'll get that through this program. And am I stepping into new responsibilities or strengthening skills my team counts on? This program provides a structured path for professional development and actual improvement. This program is for you. As we close, I want to make sure you know where to go if you have questions or need support. Our customer support team is always here to help. Their contact information is listed on this slide. Thank you all for joining us today. Your commitment to advancing healthcare quality truly makes a difference. And to our subject matter experts, thank you for your time, your insight, and your willingness to share your experience. This program exists only because of your expertise. And I'm thrilled you chose to share it with this community of healthcare quality professionals. We thank you. I hope today leaves each of you energized and curious, and I hope the regulatory and accreditation micro-credential becomes part of your professional development journey this year. I can't wait to see what you'll do with it. Thank you, everyone.